especially the riots that are happening and still happening in Portland and Seattle and recently in Denver, where pro-police protesters were countered by Antifa, anti-police protesters. Michelle Malkin was there. She showed video of violence breaking out between the two different sides in our politics. I want to welcome to the program Dr. Alan Keyes and get his take on President Trump's response. Welcome to the program, Dr. Alan Keyes. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Glad to be with you.
Good, good. If you were president, what would you do, and what is President Trump doing right or wrong?
Well, I guess it's not really for me a question of the person who's in the office, but the office itself. And we have to trace the responsibility based on the Constitution. And the Constitution provides, under federalism, for governors and mayors to take care of their own problems. But in the event that they do not, and that an insurrection is occurring, and they do what was done in Minneapolis, for example, and just kind of withdraw from the situation and let the violent people take over, that's intolerable. If cities are being burned down and the mayor does nothing, then the governor should take the National Guard in that state and do something. And if the governor doesn't act, then the explicit responsibility, it's not a response, it's a responsibility, lies with the president. Because the federal government is to guarantee a Republican form of government in each of the states. And that means that if at any level they are withdrawing the protections that Republican form as specified and outlined in the Constitution requires, and that includes the 14th Amendment, which makes it incumbent upon all the states in the Union to make sure that no person is deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. That's due process of law. You can't use violence, right? You can't take away a business, burn down a business, burn down a neighborhood, force people to make contributions, do any of the stuff that people have been claiming, and you especially can't claim chunks of U.S. territory just because you have a bunch of armed thugs saying that they've taken the place over because they feel like it and feel strongly about this or that. Doesn't matter. And when people come forward and they say, but we have the right to assemble and we have the right to... No. It's clearly stated in the Constitution. All of us have the right of peaceable assembly. That means you don't engage in violence. You don't burn things down. You don't topple statues. You don't break the laws that protect the lives and property of other human beings. I think this is being done as a willful, coordinated effort to bring chaos on our country so that they can replace our constitutional system with a dictatorial, communist, Marxist system. And people try to say, well, then the people will get everything they want. No, the only people who got everything they wanted in these totalitarian dictatorships was the privileged few who walked lockstep with the party line. And when they deviated for the sake of truth, for the sake of faith, for the sake of justice, they were smacked down and murdered in their masses. And if we want that kind of system, we can let this happen. But the president ultimately has both the authority, the command of the forces, and that includes not just the Army and the Navy, but the militia. And militia means all the able-bodied people in the United States capable of bearing arms and bearing arms, which, by the way, if you think it through, means police forces and everybody else. And when he brings them under the service of the United States, he's in charge, not the governors, not the mayors, and it's his responsibility under the law to do what he deems necessary to put down the violent insurrection.
So, Dr. Keyes, I'm informed of recent events. Just yesterday, as of the taping of this program, there was a planned Marxist anarchist event in Aurora, Colorado, where leftist crowds were going to overtake the police station like they did in Seattle, and they were going to throw the police out of their own building. But instead, what happened is 300 armed civilians exercising their Second Amendment open carry rights came and stood in front of the police and prevented the leftist violence with civil, I guess, a show of arms themselves. Is that kind of what you're implying, that the militia can work alongside of the police?
No. Why does everybody pretend the Second Amendment is about random activities by citizens? It's not. People don't get to do what they feel like doing, however justified their feelings are. The purpose of the amendment is a well-regulated militia. What does that mean? A militia subject to rules. And who's supposed to make those rules? The Congress, and when not the Congress, the President, who can bring all of those folks under his authority in order to give them their marching orders. I support having respect for that responsibility, but I think it needs to be done with a presidential initiative so that it is done as the amendment requires in an orderly way, not in a way that represents the beginnings of a new civil war. Presidents aren't put in place in order to sit back and let civil wars start. They're supposed to act in order to make sure that the Union is defended, that the rights of the people are defended, and that no civil war is necessary because civil law, including the law of the Constitution, triumphs.
Okay, last question, and we're out of time. What is imtv.us, and how can people subscribe to your video content?
Well, they should go to imtv.us and just visit the site. We have all of our videos in the past posted at brighteon.com for safety. You can also find them on Facebook at imtv.us and on YouTube at imtv.us. But since we're not sure that all those places are going to welcome us, given the viewpoint that I take quite consistently, I've chosen to ally with Mike Adams over at Brighteon because we don't think we're going to be kicked off for honoring the name and requirements of God.
Well, thank you, sir. You'll always have a home on our program, and you're always welcome to voice your piece here. I'm Dr. Chaps. We're offering a flash sale on all of our teaching products when you visit prayinjesusname.org. Click on the online bookstore, and all of our products are now 50% off while supplies last this month only. But in addition to that, we're offering a spiritual growth pack with 4 of our best DVDs in one package, starting with How to Have an Effective Prayer Life, How to Have an Excellent Marriage, Real Christianity in an Unreal World with Vince Stacchioli, and How to Become an Effective Christian Activist. You can grow in your spiritual life with all 4 of these DVD products, normally $30 each. That's a $120 value for half price, for just $60, and we'll throw in the shipping. So call us right now at 866-OBEY-GOD and say, I want the Spiritual Growth Pack. I want those 4 DVDs for just $60. Call us right now for this special offer at 866-OBEY-GOD.
Dr. Chaps needs your financial support to stay on the air. Would you please send your best financial donation today? Please visit prayinjesusname.org to donate online. Or you can mail a check to Pray in Jesus' Name Ministries, Post Office Box 77077, Colorado Springs, Colorado 80970. You can also call us toll-free right now, 866-OBEY-GOD. That's 866-OBEYGOD. Please sign up for our free emails at prayinjesusname.org. Again, that's prayinjesusname.org.